What up? What up? What up, man? I appreciate y'all checking me out as always. You feel me? Listen here. Bradley Beal has declined his player option. All right. Now, I really don't know what to make of this. I don't. I don't know what to make of this. The expectation is that Bradley Beal is going to sign some crazy, ridiculous supermax contract with the Washington Wizards. Now, I put out a video the other day that I had to take down because the audio was fucked up. I really don't even want to have to go through all this again, but I'm about to because if the Washington Wizards re-sign this motherfucker for a contract that big and that long, I think he's eligible for a $200 million contract over the course of 5 years. All right. If they were to do this, they would be making this would be the biggest. Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. Let's go ahead and talk about historically how stupid the Washington Wizards are. All right. Let's go back to 96, 97 when they signed Juwan Howard. Now, Juwan Howard in his sophomore season was an all star. He averaged 22 points, 1 rebound, and 3 turnovers. All right. First question I have here is why is a power forward averaging 3 turnovers? I did not mention his assist numbers, which means that they were nothing, no indication that he's a primary ball handler back then. All right. Now he didn't shoot any. Well, let me just slow my roll here. All right. They signed him. They signed. He had the opportunity to sign a contract extension after his sophomore season, which he was an all-star. And he did, 22 points, 8 rebounds. That's damn good productivity, especially back in the 90s. All right. Now, they signed him for a deal, 7 years worth $105 million. All right. 7 years, $105 million. That's $15 million per year. Back then, that's a decent amount of money. But to me, the alarming thing, excuse me, the alarming thing was the amount of years that they signed him for. Ultimately, they ended up trading him after 3 years, but they signed him for 7 years. All right. Now, back then, 7 years, $105 million. That's clearly that's clearly franchise player money. They signed this dude thinking that he would be their go-to guy for years to come. Now, again, 22 points, 8 rebounds. 8 rebounds for a power forward is not impressive to me. I'm not impressed by a starting a all-star caliber power forward who only averages 8 rebounds. I'm not impressed by that at all. Especially since back then, Juwan Howard didn't shoot no tray balls. He had zero tray balls, and that's fine because back then the NBA is not it wasn't what it is now. All right. It wasn't pressure on your big to step out and sit back and shoot 5 tray balls per game. All right. Nonetheless, that was just the beginning. From my recollection, the beginning of just a chain of a series of bad fucking moves by the Washington Wizards. I'll give you my next example. Ian Mahimi. Anybody remember Ian Mahimi? You might remember him most from the Indiana Pacers because that was his best season. He played 71 games. He averaged 9 funky ass points, 1 block, 4.8 total rebounds. All right. 57% free throw shooting, 58% field goal percentage, 0 3-point attempts in 25.6 minutes. All right. Now, the issue I have with this contract, number one, What the hell we paying him for? With 9.3 points, 1 block, and 4 rebounds, 4.8 rebounds. All right. And 0 trade balls. And listen, this was a contract that he signed. He signed a 4-year deal in 2016. You needed your bigs to knock down some trade balls in 2016. That was the beginning of all this new NBA shit we got going on for real, for real. All right. You were definitely looking for your bigs to knock down trade balls. Now, Ian Mahimi was a center. Interesting thing about it, he was not a rim protector. He was not a rebounder. He was not a rim runner. All right. He was not a pick and pop guy. It was nothing about Ian Mahimi that would make you sign this motherfucker for 4 years, $64 million. Who were they bidding against? Who was they bidding against? They went out and signed him for 4 years, $64 million. That's $16 million per year for Ian Mahimi. The Washington Wizards gave him this contract. And Scott Brooks was the head coach during that time, just to give you a state of mind of what was going on at the time in the NBA. Scott Brooks was the coach for the Washington Wizards in 2016. They signed Ian Mahimi. If that wasn't enough, they went on to sign Gilbert Arenas. Now, we all know Gilbert Arenas' story, how much money they paid Gilbert Arenas. They signed him for 6 years, $111 million after he had just played 13 games the year before due to injury. Why would you pay a player $111 million over the span of 6 years? That's what, however many $1 million per year. I don't know, $18 million per year. What is that? What is that? I'm not a mathematician. Let's see. 111 divided by 6. $18.5 million per year, man, is what they paid this man a year after he had only played 13 games for them. Now, to their just giving them the benefit of the doubt a little bit, Gilbert Arenas was a guy who at one point he averaged 29 points through 80 games. That's rough. 29 points through 80 games. Now, although he did not win a scoring title that season, that still put him in the elite of scorers. We know how Gilbert Arenas get it as far as buckets go. The boy could play some basketball, but that's really where it stopped. He was not a leader. He was not very smart. He was not going to carry you. Y'all remember the time where Brian pat that motherfucker on the shoulder and he missed the free throws that would have gave them the series over Cleveland. Y'all remember that? After they signed him to that contract, he only played 47 total games. That's crazy. They gave him all that money and he only played 47 total games, man. Now, now to me, it's just another dumbass move by the Washington Wizards. All right. I just it just I just it's just another move that I couldn't make sense of. Now, the fourth player on this list obviously is going to be John Wall. Now, I'm not gonna get on John Wall because I fuck with John Wall. That's my G. I'm not gonna come down on them for giving him that contract. Although I'll say this: if anybody throughout the history of the Washington Wizards deserved a contract, a big contract, it would have been John Wall. All right. If anybody deserved it. I think that a healthy John Wall is a very good player. Very, very good player. One of the best guards in the league. All right. One of my G's. I fuck with John Wall heavy, but it was just another move that they should not have made, which brings us to Bradley Beal. All right. If the Washington Wizards are about to go out and pay this man this super duper mega max deal, We talking about a guy who in 10 years has only been an all-star 3 goddamn times. He's only been an all-star 3 times. Now, he's made an NBA first team. I mean, an NBA, all NBA team, but it was only the third team, and he's only done it one time. He's only done it one time throughout his 10 years. I think he averages, I got some numbers wrote down here. Not really sure if they're his career averages or just his averages for a season. I'm pretty sure these is career numbers. 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, man. 22, 4, and 4. 22, 4, and 4. You're gonna pay a guy $200 million who on his career averages 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. A guy who has only had 3 All-Star selections, a guy who was a All NBA third teamer, a guy who has in 10 years, he has 4 seasons where he played 70 games or more. He only got 4 seasons where he played 70 games or more. All right. And within those 4 seasons, 2 of them, he played 80 games or more. The durability of Bradley Beal is extremely questionable, which appears to be the situation with all of these other players that they've given big contracts to. You going out and you signing players, it seems to me out of desperation. It seems like you signing this Bradley Beal move would be a desperation move for sure, for sure. And if I'm Washington, I don't think this is the move to make. I just don't think it's the move to make because once you come to a point where you want to trade Bradley Beal, you're going to have teams looking at him the way they look at Ben Simmons, the way they look at Russell Westbrook, the way they look at John Wall, all of these guys with these huge contracts. A lot of teams are a little reluctant to take on. They don't want to take these big ass contracts on for players who not gonna for the wrong players. They taking on these big contracts for the wrong players. All right. I think Washington to be shooting themselves in the foot. All signs indicate that to them re-signing Bradley Beal to this super mega large ultra max contract. And I just don't think it's the right thing to do. I think that they'll be adding to their horrible resume of horrible contract extensions for players who should not be getting contract extensions. All right. That's my 10 cents on the Bradley Bill situation. I'll catch y'all next time.